Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Good to catch up.
Yeah, it is good to catch up. Today, on A Beer with Starlo, I'm with Dean Hamilton, better known as Hammo to many people. And Hammo, I've known you for many, many years. I guess probably ran into you the first time up at Windermere chasing yellows, do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would have been Windermere. And I think I worked out, I've been up there 17 years. So it would have been in the early days.
Very early days.
The Chris Stelgis and all those blokes up there.
Yeah. But how did you get started in fishing and the outdoor life? Was it when you were a kid, or?
Yeah, my dad's was a fairly outdoorsy sort of bloke. We used to do a lot of hunting, a lot of fishing, and but back in the day, a lot of it was just chasing redfin and carp up on the Murray and all that sort of stuff. But I just always loved that time away out in the bush, just just the sound of nature and sort of getting on the river. And I suppose, from there it's sort of, way back in the early days is, watching TV shows and, like right back to the old Rex hunt, get an interest in sort of chasing trout then, and, started chasing trout on selters and caught a few as a probably 12, 13 year old.
Where were you living in those days?
I was living in Victoria, so we used to do a lot of fishing up on the Upper Yarra, up around Warburton. Yep. Yeah, and up that area. So a lot of just clear mountain streams, and sort of that's where I did all the selter fishing, and then ventured into a bit of fly fishing from there. Yeah, right. And it was good, but it sort of ignited a bit of a fire that sort of never really gone out.
And when I ran into you at Windermere, we were going, so much changed with that Windermere golden perch fishery over the years. When we first started fishing up there, we all used to walk the bank and throw deception shrimps and crank them in and let them float up, and you'd see the yellows come up and eat them, and then it all moved to more fishing out of the boat and fishing back the other way, and then fishing along the weed bed edges, and it evolved to the blades. And I always remember you were quite an early adopter with the hair jigs. You used to make those Donny Brasco.
That's right, yeah, they still work. Yeah.
Now, you're particularly well known, of course, for your knife making. Has that always been a passion?
I actually remember reading, I think it might have been a fishing world, or it might have been a sporting shooter many, many years ago. And this fella had made a Bowie knife out of a leaf spring in an old Weber barbecue. Wow. And I looked at that and thought, that's cool. It's sort of one of those things I thought every bloke should do this sometime in their life. And I'd sort of never got around to it. And, I had a few hurdles and a few issues in my life that sort of changed direction for me. And I sort of went and did a forging course, just try and keep the mind active and hands active, and just fell in love with it. Yeah. And then, so I did a couple of days on the course and made a couple of knives, and then just me being me, just wanted to get better and get better and get better.
And now, of course, Forge Through is taking a lot of your time. Tell us about the Forge Through program.
So how Forge Through came to be, as I mentioned earlier, I had a few sort of hurdles in my life with mental health issues as a result of my previous sort of policing career. And I got, as you said, Zen, or I found a lot of solace in just winding things back to being really simple. When your mind's racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour, sometimes pulling things back to the here and now, like that fire, that hammer, that steel, you're right in the moment. Nothing else matters, you're just in that moment. And I found that very helpful. And so what sort of happened is, along my journey, I'd meet veterans and first responders that would be, in a similar situation that I was. And I used to invite them down to the forge here to just make a knife, hoping that maybe they'd get the same feeling out of that I did. And it was actually quite successful in the respect of, like a lot of the guys that walk away just going, like, feeling a sense of pride, a sense of achievement, at a time in their lives where they're quite rare things. it was quite satisfying to be able to pass that on. So what I did then is I started formalising the process a little bit with Forge Through, and it created a Facebook page, and what I wanted to do was try and reach out to people that were struggling and disenfranchised a little bit, and try and include them into something that make them feel a part of something again, to refine their tribe, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, they've left organisations, they don't feel like they belong anywhere. So to actually be part of something, and Forge Through is a community.
So what does the future hold for Forge Through? I mean, how many programs a year are you doing at the moment?
Well, we're running 12 programs a year in the actual Forge. But and I know you're aware of the last 2 years we've actually run a Forge Through fishing social, and that's been a huge success.
I want to get to the next one of those.
It has been a huge success. It's actually been really good for veterans and first responders to see that members of the community actually support them, because a lot of the problems that we've all had is trying to transition back into society. So the fishing days, they're meeting people that are just fishers like yourself, and we've had some of Australia's best anglers turning up at these things and taking guys out, and the guys are just absolutely blown away at just what they've learnt, and even the fact that these blokes are turning up with their boats and their gear and the willingness to take them fishing for the day. But what's been super positive out of that is that, like, I know there's probably at least half a dozen blokes that have caught up since for other fishing, and it's sort of it's started a little bit of a little bit of passion for those guys.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things with PTS is being able to see a future. So the way we look is if we can show people that are in a darker spot than we are now, they can see us and go, oh, there is a way forward. So that's sort of the crux of it, is just to be able to show people that, you know, what they're feeling at that particular time is temporary, you know, that things can get better.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep, there's work to do, but, you know, they can get there. So,
mate, I'll drink to that. Cheers. So I've got to ask you, mate, what do you think of the crankshaft?
Love it, actually.
It's not a bad drop.
I tell you, it's got a real, sort of fruity sort of smell about it, and it's, I love it, actually.
Pretty warm in here today, and it's going down quite well.
Yeah. I've actually tried to slow down.